Hi, I'm Ryan. This is Bill Grom. He is the owner of Nator. And Nator is a profile sanding machine that is designed to take the chatter out of trim, like moldings, like baseboards, crown moldings, any sort of trim, or even dimensional lumber. It'll do the same. So Bill is the one that designed this and has patented it and is now manufacturing. So we'll start out by just kind of showing you the machine. It's similar to like a table saw. You'd feed your wood in on one side and it self-feeds and it comes out the other side. So I think what we'll do now is we'll pull the covers off and show you underneath. The covers are designed to come off easily so you can get in to work on it. And the side covers, you just lift off. And here's the inner workings of the machine. So there are two different motors. One is for the drive feed rollers and one is for the sanding brushes. This is the sanding drum head, and we have some brushes here. I'll show you. These brushes, they come in different grits. And it's like a paintbrush with sanding flaps. And they slide into grooves on the drum. And you can change them out whenever. You can change to different grits. This particular one looks like it has every fourth, it has a different grit. And what it's designed to do is remove all these chatter marks. Now these are obviously highlighted so you can see on video. And it will give you a product like this, nice and smooth and ready for paint. So the motors that are used in this machine, they're both made in the United States, as well as the drums and the brushes, and all the metal work on this is produced here locally in Hotchkiss, Colorado. So Bill, you want to tell us a little more about the machine and how it functions?
To start with the hub, it's a 6-inch wide hub. With the grits of the paper, like this is 100 grit and it's 4 millimeter wide strips, and then 7 millimeter, which is at 180 grit, and then 4 millimeter, still 180 grit, and then 3 millimeter. And the idea behind all this would be on a piece of molding like this, all the tight areas that you run into that'll clean the chatter out. And then when you look at this way, you can see it's not distorting the profile at all. So that's the idea behind the different widths of sanding strips and different grits. Two bolts on the side, so you can adjust the height of the sanding hub to meet the thickness of your molding that you're running through. And you have about 1.5 inch variance that you can.
So Bill, with that, you've got a lot of adjustment because your bed board here is also adjustable up and down.
Right.
And it's got about a foot of range of adjustment, which you would probably never come close to reaching.
Right. And most of that, to give that adjustment for the jack post here, so if you want to run something thicker through there, no big deal. And you can get down to probably close to 1/2 inch in thickness of your sanding.
So Bill, what's the max width that you can run through this?
It would be 6 inch. The way it was designed, the hub is only 6 inches wide, but most of your molding that you'll be running will be under the 6 inch category. And then you can divide this up to, if you have thinner, narrower molding, to run 2 strips through at the same time. Just put another guide in.
Another guide board in.
And then you're all set. this, if we can turn this around maybe.
Yep.
On this side is the control panel, which will kick on the motor. You have a separate feed that goes to your feed rollers, and the ideal situation is about 8 feet per minute, depending on the depth of the chatter and that you can run through here.
So if that didn't get it first shot, if you had like really bad chatter, you can run it multiple times and then it'll take it out. So.
And it still will not distort the profile of it.
So Bill has done a lot of woodworking in his life, and he makes a lot of different moldings for homes, like baseboards and crown molding. And he came up with this idea because after you mold wood, there's a lot of chatter left in it from the knives. And most people hand sand that out, and it's very labor intensive and time consuming. So with this, it knocks the time down drastically. So Bill, on an average house, how long would it take to sand all the moldings?
Well, to give an example, I just saw a YouTube video of an outfit that shows the sponge and sanders with the sandpaper on and just back and forth. Like a piece like this with this profile here.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it is, because there are a lot of different heights on the profile itself. I figure when I was doing this house with 6,000 foot, it took me, well, in 2 hours, about all that you can handle like this before your hand cramps up. And by hand, you can do approximately maybe 100 foot an hour to really clean it up.
Versus
this, about 300 foot an hour.
Yeah.
And it saves your hand. And that's the worst thing that woodworkers find. They hate sanding.
Well, I know a lot of guys cut corners and they don't sand the chatter out, and then you can see it whether it's painted or stained.
Right. The chatter will really pop out no matter whether you paint it or sand it. And you know, some people it doesn't bother.
The machine is how well built it is. It's built really heavy duty, and everything is built to be serviceable and you know, easily serviced if you had to replace something. Like these bearings are greasable bearings. You can see they're really oversized. The shaft, that is a 1-inch shaft, I believe, and it is solid steel, so it's super heavy built. Now this drum head here, it's all billet aluminum, machined out, very nice quality. It's amazing, and it's really a fairly simple system.
And the thing is with the hubs, you know, little different things with the flat part on the shaft. So when this goes on, it's tightened down.
It can't spin on the shaft. Yeah.
And like Ryan said, everything in here, there's nothing welded. It's all nuts and bolts. So if anything ever needed to be replaced, it's pretty simple.
These drive rollers are I don't know what kind of rubber that is. Do you?
I think it's the polypropylene.
But it really grips the wood well. In the prototype model, we had a different style rubber, and it didn't grip quite as well. But this new rubber roller really helps, and that is what grips on the wood and actually feeds the wood through.
There is one other thing. One question I get quite frequently is, how often do I need to change the brushes? On my first prototype, I'm still using it. I've got over 35,000 lineal feet run through there. I'll get at least another 35,000 before I even think about changing them. I mean, these last a long time. I mean, you can't abuse them. Once they're dialed in, you're good to go.
So that's a pretty good long lifespan on these brushes. That's nice. So, Bill, tell us how much this machine costs.
The machine will be $24.95. That's $2,495 plus tax and shipping. And
what does it take to ship across the United States?
Well,
we're in Colorado, so
Well, I shipped one to Elkins, West Virginia, and it was, I believe, $350 and that was through FedEx.
The legs, this one's being finished up for shipment. So the legs are actually collapsed down in a lower position, and this allows us to fit into a wardrobe box. And when you get this, there are multiple holes on the legs, so you can adjust it to whatever height you need it. So that's a nice feature. Some guys will choose to purchase the roller base, and that's nice for moving around the shop easily. So,
and then along that line on the prototype here, you can see the legs on here, they're full extension. It can be raised up higher or lower.
what's the bed height right now, approximately, on this? With the legs in the
from the
position
floor,
it is? Yeah.
roughly about, I think it's around 42 inches.
42. So
Yeah.
if you wanted it lower, you can obviously set it much lower, like
Right.
this one here.
Yeah, and some of these, the first idea was to marry it up to a molding machine so it could come through mold and sand at the same time, but that became too complex to try and match all the different types of machines.
Because there's so many different machines.
Right.
Each one would have to be different.
Different heights.
So that's why you went with the standalone, is so
Right.
it's universal.
Right.
That's a good idea.
And like Ryan said, with the mobile unit, if you put this on a mobile unit, you can move around your shop and you don't have to have it in one specific area and drag it on the
What do
floor.
these machines weigh?
The tow machine with everything on it is right at 115 pounds. So
115 pounds.
Yeah.
That's very manageable. So these machines come unassembled somewhat. The legs will be collapsed like this one. The bed board here, this actually will be mounted on the side for shipment, and then the covers will be on the machine. So I think we've kind of covered everything. Is there anything else you can think of, Bill?
now just a little further what you said, you can see the belt here. The motor is bolted down just for shipping. Take one bolt out, lift the motor up. The motor's on a piano hinge, so
The weight of the motor tensions the belt.
Right, you don't need any idler pulleys. Like Ryan said, it's pretty simple.
I
but
guess
it's just
one
the
thing that we
job.
didn't show is the bed board, how you turn this, and this will raise or lower this depending on the thickness of the material that you're trying to sand. So, and they are powder coated. That was another thing that we didn't say.
Right, right.
Um,
I get them back from fabrication, which is done locally, and then I take them to the powder coater, which is locally too. So just about everything we can do locally, we do. And then
I like that a lot. I think that's great that it's built in the U.S.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
if you ever needed parts, it wouldn't be hard to get them. So.
right, right.
So, Bill, we are going to the Las Vegas Trade Show this summer. Do you have the dates for that?
Yeah, it's July 20th through the 23rd at the convention center, and we were going to go to the IWF in Atlanta this year. We had the booth and everything, but then that was canceled. So we're doing a virtual show October 26th, I think it is. So we'll be online with a virtual show.
And where would people find that?
If you would go to AWF, or excuse me, that was the wrong show. The IWF, which is the International Woodworkers Fair, to their website, then it brings up all the exhibitors and the new products and the whole thing. It'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
But at least we'll get the word out. That's the main thing. So.
Well, we hope to see you at the show and come out and check these out.